In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this subscriber animation in a free software called HitFilm Express. Alright, so now that we have HitFilm Express open, go over to New, make a new project, 1920 by 1080, 60 FPS is usually standard, click OK. I'm going to open up my subscriber animations file because that is where I like to do all my animations. Here is the composite shot that shows the subscriber animation that we're going to be learning in this video, or you're going to be learning in this video. If your interface doesn't look like this, what you can do is go to Window, up in the top, and make sure these check marks are checked and things will appear on the screen. You can move them around by clicking on it just like this. Put them where you want, make it look all nice. This is how I like it. This is how I edit. It's fine. It works for me. What we're going to do is go to New. We're going to make a new composite shot. Let's call this YouTube video. 1920, 1080 is fine. Duration's a little long. Let's drop that down to like 10 seconds. This animation is only going to be 3 to 5 seconds. Click OK. Here we go. We got a blank screen. Next, we need some images. The two main images are going to be a subscriber and subscribe PNG. You can go to YouTube, take your Geizo, which is a screen capture device, just screenshot it, and then drag them into HitFilm Express. If you already have these pictures or download them off the internet, that's fine. That's fair too. However, I wanted to make sure everything for me is legal. Once you have it in HitFilm Express, go over to the left, get the mask tool. You're going to want to make a mask around this entire thing by just clicking around where you want, or you want to encase the image. Once you connect it, you'll have this image. Go to Options, Export Frame. You'll be able to export exactly what you see in here with the transparent background. Now save it as subscribe PNG because you can use these later on in future videos or animations that you're going to be using. So I've already done that, so I'm going to take my subscribe PNG from over here. If you don't know how to get files into HitFilm, what you want to do is just take the file from your computer, drag it into this box, and it will pop up. Once we have our files in this, we can drag it onto our composite shot. I'm going to grab that one and grab my subscribed and put it below. Now I want to go back to up here and get my selection tool so I can select objects. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select both of these. I'm going to click one, hold control, click this one. Now I got both of them selected. Hold shift, take one of the corners, drag it in, downscale it, grab one in the middle, move it down as I want it around this area. It's still a little large. I'm going to grab it while they're both selected and do that. I'm going to grab the subscribe button. I want these to be about the same size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold shift, click one of these corners, and try to make it roughly the same size. I'm going to go to the timeline, click subscribe. I'm going to rename these really quick just to make it easier. The subscribe is a little large. I'm going to click it, and I'm not going to hold shift. I'm just going to bring it in a little bit and try to match it up, and it looks good to me. We'll overlay them. See, it's not perfect. However, as long as this one's a little bit larger, that's fine. I'm going to save because that's important. I don't want to lose all my stuff. What we need to do now is bring in our last picture, the pointer. I'm going to drag it in. I've already made one of these. What I did was I took a screenshot on my computer. This is obviously the harder way. You can just buy one or you can download one off online. However, I wanted to make sure I had my own to use for legal purposes. I took a screenshot of my computer. I put it into HitFilm. I masked out the mouse pointer that you're seeing right now, and then I created shapes that perfectly matched this using HitFilm layers right here, new layer, and I made planes, and that's how I made this. As long as you get that into here, that's fine. Hold shift, we're going to drag it by a corner, move it around. We're going to put this to the top, and this looks to be about a good size to have it. Now the first thing I want to do is let's just animate the pointer. This way we know how fast it's going to come in, it's going to click, and how fast it's going to leave. So let's open up the pointer, go to transform, open that up. So let's go to position. I want it to click right there. So hit position, hit a keyframe. Now we know we have this keyframe. So at this point, it's going to be right here. So now I'm going to play the video, get a little estimate where we are. So I want it to come in, probably hit right around here, just as an estimate, and leave about here. So now let's go back to here. I want it to be off the screen. So here the keyframe came in because I have this highlighted. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to drag it here. See, the keyframe popped up again. Let's see how that looks. Comes in, does something. We're gonna move this in. I'm gonna click this keyframe, control, move it about here. Control C to copy it, Control V to paste it. Let's see, comes in, pauses for a second, leaves. That's a little slow. Let's put it in a little bit. I like that a little better. Now here, I want to make it seem like someone's clicking. We're going to change the scale. I like how the scale is, so we're going to make sure the scale, we're going to keyframe it. You can either click this or click that. However, only click this on the first one. You probably should get in the habit of clicking this one. Let's get a second keyframe here. Let's zoom in ever so slightly. We can manipulate it either through here, or we can do the scale here. I'm gonna Control Z it. That's it before, that's it there. Control C, Control V. Let's see what happened. Boom, clicks. Yeah, move those keyframes in a little bit. That looks alright, doesn't look perfect. Let's highlight those. We're gonna go over here, click this button. This makes it magical, this makes it smoother and look more natural. See, that looks fine for now. So now let's lock this so we don't end up changing anything in it. We like how it happens. It comes in, it clicks, and then it leaves. Now here's the harder part. Let's Control C, Control V, create 2 subscribe things. Also, I'm gonna lock this so I can't see it and I can't interact with it. Go over to this mask tool. We're gonna do the rectangular mask. We're gonna go highlight it and we're gonna get right in the middle of the E. This way we know it's about in the middle of the screen. Also, I made 2 masks by accident, so click it, click delete. I'm also gonna rename this to top subscribe, and then this one we'll make bottom subscribe. Now close this. Okay, now let's grab the bottom. We want to mask that, so let's see if we click on there. You can see that it all gets deleted because we have 2 masks. Now make sure we get up there. This does not matter too much if it's perfect, but as long as they're like this. And so now see, now we got 2 images, both subscribe, both in the same spot. Perfect. So what we're going to do now is add the lens flare. This is going to act as the laser that cuts the image in half. So go to effects, type in lens flare, or just light flare, same thing, comes up. You can either do it on the top or the bottom, it doesn't matter. We'll just do it on the top. Now you see we have this light flare right here. We can open it up and we go to the flare type. We got a bunch of different options. I did this one, which I kind of thought was the coolest. It kind of looks like a laser. It doesn't matter which one you want. So now what we want is we want it to go like this, cut through, right? So now we need to keyframe this, right? So when the pointer comes in, clicks, that's when I want this to ignite and then move like this. Right here, we need the intensity 0. Click it, we'll keyframe that as it didn't keyframe for some reason. Move it over a little bit, make it intensity, I guess that's about fine. So now we also need to move the hotspot position. So double click that to bring it exactly where we want it. I like it here, put the keyframe, this is where I want it. And then I can go over here to center and click and drag, and I want it to move all the way over here. That's probably too far or too long here. And then I want the intensity to be 0. I can click in here, click 0. But also I need it to be still light the whole way. So I'm going to click on this keyframe where I know the light is. Control C, Control V, and let's see what we got. Clicks, moves across. Boom. Obviously really sloppy, really bad. So let's make it look a little better. So I dragged it, moved a little closer. Click, goes across, still too slow. Faster. Also, we can highlight all these, click this, it makes it just look smoother. Click it, boom, fast. A little too fast actually. Click it, boom, goes across. These I actually want it to be a smooth keyframe because it would just look nicer. Boom, cuts across. So you can see there's a big issue right here. You can see the edges of this. This can be a change by just fixing messing around the intensity at this level and getting it stronger in the middle. There are also ways to change around the brightness so you don't see this. You can also change the image that you put the lens flare on. However, for the purpose of this video, this is alright. Click it, moves across. Now as the light goes across, I want it to seem like it's cutting in half and the subscribe falls apart. Now, as the lens flare passes through the image, I want it to seem like it's cutting it. So we need to now animate each top and bottom layer so it looks like it's falling. So click on the top subscribe layer and we'll move to the part where we click and it starts cutting right here. What we'll do is we'll take position, put a keyframe, and we'll see where it ends, just an estimate, and we'll just drag it down, we'll add a little rotation, and we'll completely bring it off the screen. So now, whoops, sorry. This is why you don't forget the rotation. Gotta go to rotation, so we'll double click this, make sure the rotation here is 0. We're both keyframing the rotation as well as the position. So as it moves down, I want to rotate a little bit. So now when it goes through, clicks, falls, that's way too fast. Let's get a little more. That looks pretty bad, so let's keep it smooth, see what happens. That's alright. A little slow. Keep manipulating until it looks nice. We could also change it to this kind of keyframe, which might be better because it represents a little more gravity. That looked very clean. Now let's close that for now, or we'll keep it open. This way we can see exactly where the keyframes are. We'll open up the bottom one, go into transform. Now we know this position is where this is going to start, the top one's going to start moving, so we also want the bottom one. Get the position keyframe. Now let's do the rotation. And let's move to here. Double click there. Now we got exactly where we want it. Let's rotate it this one a little bit this way. And let's also bring it down. Hold right and left click, highlight them all. Click this, change the type of keyframe. Click it, boom, it falls. Now it kind of looks like the top one's falling a little bit faster. So we'll highlight these two, move it in a little bit. Now when it falls, it should look a little more natural. So this is what we have so far. Comes in, click play. Light goes across, that goes. So now for the purpose of the top and bottom subscribe buttons, those are basically done. We can just lock those. So now let's animate the subscribed. Once the subscribed comes up, it kind of just stands there. It kind of looks dull, right? So what we can do is let's keyframe the position and scale. Zoom, move in a little bit in time, and we can make it a little bit bigger. We can get the other keyframe, move it again a little bit, and normal, we can make that the same size, and then we can take the position, drag it to the end, move a little bit, and we can make this jump down. Highlight them all, we can give it that nice curve. Boom. So see, we have click it. So when we click it, I want this to jump right here. Comes out, kind of looks a little unsmooth. Move it in a little more. So now we don't really want this subscribe just to be here at the start of the animation, right? We want it to come in some cool looking fashion. Now there's some ways to do this, however, let's just do this way. What we're going to do is we're going to open up both of them, the bot and top. We are going to just change the scale. So I'm going to click scale. We're going to move in a little bit, keyframe it. We're going to move back. We're going to make this 0. And we're going to make it the smooth curve. So now it should come in real quick. Hold left click, drag, Control C. Go up to the top. Click, make sure we're in the top. Click the scale. Move it to the beginning so that the keyframes activate here. When we click Control V. And now to finish it up, we're going to take the subscribe button, subscribed, and we're just going to move it so it's not showing. Click play, it comes in at the same time. As long as the subscribed button pops up here, we're fine. So now both come at the same time. Click. See, this cuts a little, when it cuts, it's a little unsmooth. So what we can do is, let's just make this rotation a little more and the position a little faster. There we go. I actually forgot one really major thing. Watch this. When it cuts across, it starts falling with this. See, that's not good. So if we go back to here, what we can do is we'll go into the lens flare effects, open up the lens flare. I'm going to hold control so I zoom in a little bit, and I want this whole thing to be faster. There's multiple ways of doing this, obviously. So once it hits there, then it starts falling. So now the animation looks a little bit more clean. However, the pointer, however, I have to move the pointer now. So let's move the pointer in a little bit, unlock it, grab these, move it, move right there. We need this middle keyframe to be here. Comes in, click, cuts across, jumps out. Obviously now we have to change all the other keyframes, but that's just how to fix the laser or the light. I almost forgot one of the most important things, exporting the thing you just made. So now there's two ways to export this. One is through an AVI file, which will be exported as a transparent background, allowing you to put it directly into your program. That's what I prefer. And you could also add here a new layer, make it a plane, make it a green or any other color your program uses, and drag it to the bottom and export this as an MP4. If you export this as an MP4 like this, you can key out the background. However, the best way, in my opinion, is as an AVI. So I'm gonna hold control, zoom out a little bit. I don't want to export this entire thing. The files be too big. Drag to where it disappears. Move this in and out area to here. Export, add to queue, in and out area. Go over to the export settings. I have a preset transparent compressed background, and I right click, start exporting. That'll give me an AVI file. If you want to see the export settings, these are the export settings for that specific AVI file. Now when you export the file to your desktop or wherever, you're not going to be able to view the video. It's just going to be a black screen. However, if you drag it into an editing program such as HitFilm, you'll be able to just interact with it just like a normal file. I'll show you real quick. Here's my subscribe AVI file. If I drag it into my editor and I click play, you can see there it is. However, again, if you view the video outside of editing program, it'll just be a black screen. It's okay. And you want the compressed version because it makes it like 10 times the file size or 10 times less the file size. You can do the uncompressed file, but the thing's like 2 gigs for like 5 seconds. It's ridiculous. So just do the compressed file. So there are a lot of things you can change and manipulate in this. That's what makes it really fun and unique. You can take this, you can change any position, any keyframe, and make it your own. it's more important that you not only followed how to do this, but understood when to scale and position stuff, and how to have a creative mind when something moves and animate it. It's fun. It's exciting. So obviously this needs a lot of still room for improvement. This mouse pointer is a little slow and it looks a little unprofessional. But for the sake of the video purposes, hopefully you guys understood all the keyframing and stuff that happened down here, because that's the important stuff, as well as the masking. And hopefully this gets you on to make some cool subscribe buttons using a little laser effect that shoots across the screen. Hopefully you enjoyed this little tutorial. I got a lot more coming if you guys want to see some other stuff. I got a lot of ideas for video creation and video editing. If you guys want something specific, if you want me to describe something a little bit further in detail, I know I'm not a master explainer. I'm not a master explanation person. I guess that's a teacher. But it's fun, you know, it's enjoyable to share some stuff and see what you guys think and get other people's creative thoughts going. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you.